Hello, my loves. It's time for the Witchy Weather Report. How are we all feeling? There's our banners. All right, good to see everybody. My name is Rory Kelly, and I run a podcast called Sassafras Cast every month. And also every month, on the last Saturday of the month, I go live with the Witchy Weather Report, where I pull a card for everybody and also like one card for everyone, one card to rule us all, and also pull cards for as many people as I can get to in 1 hour. This morning, I am held to that 1 hour. I have a tight stop at 12. It's 11 o'clock a.m. here. So if you want to get your reading, I highly recommend you use our secret code. Put a cat in the chat. Either put a cat emoji or write the word meow in the chat, and I will know to pull a card for you. You are welcome to ask a particular question along with your card. You are also welcome to just ask for a general card or ask on a topic. It's all good. The reason I use that secret code is because sometimes we get spammers and they seem to arrive when we say things like, can you pull a card for me? Like they search, I think they search those terms. So that would be why. It's also cats are fun. Good morning, Mary Jane. How are you? It's so good to see you. All right, loves. I'm going to share this broadcast on Facebook because what I've been told is even when you're following me sometimes you still don't get the notification until like 10 minutes in. So like that's stinky. So I'm going to just go ahead and do a little share. A sherry share. I'm reading today. Good meowing. Hi, Brittany. How are you? I'm reading today with the Wizard's Tarot by Barbara Moore and Mieke Janssens. I'm very excited. I love this deck, and I've made a commitment recently to read from this deck more often because it's beautiful and it's cute, and I just haven't given it the airtime it deserves. I don't mean literal airtime, but I guess I do today because here I am broadcasting. All right. Let me pull these cards out. Let's get started with a little bit of shuffling. This is an absolutely beautiful deck. As you can see, there's dragons and crystals on the back of it. All right. By the way, if you're watching somewhere on Facebook, I've shared it a couple places, so please make sure if you're leaving a comment, click through to the original broadcast so I will be able to see it, because I don't have more than one window open. I just have the window that gives me all the comments. So if you see it on a shared post, just click on the video so that you go to the main post and you can comment there. Love it. Mary Jane's already got a question. I know I also had a question from Grayson, one of my patrons. So I'll be pulling a card for everybody first. Then I'll go to Grayson and then Mary Jane. Yes, dragons and crystals. Oh my. And Brittany, of course, because good meowing. Brittany is also a patron. I will get to I'll get to all of y'all. Don't worry. I assumed you wanted a card because you said good meowing, although I realize that may just be a greeting. I'm still holding up good meowing. I don't need to do that. All right, doing a little bit of shuffle. A little shuffling. Last month, our card of the month, I remember it because it was such a bummer card. But wait, no, we had the Ten of Pentacles last month, and then 2 weeks ago on the podcast, the card I pulled for everyone was the Five of Pentacles. It's like that energy just got cut right in half to the Five of Pentacles, which is really about scarcity and lack. So how have your last 2 weeks been, everybody? How have you been feeling? How has the world been treating you in the last 2 weeks? I want the real answer, not the polite answer. Let me know for realsies how you are. All right, are we ready? I'm going to pull our card for the month. Our card is the Empress. This is a time for us to nurture It's a time to nurture ourselves, like really good practical love. All of the advice that a good mom or mom friend would give you. Wear a sweater, make sure you're getting enough sleep. Did you eat a little something? How are you feeling today? Did you check in with your body? Are you taking good enough care of yourself in the most basic ways? These are the questions the Empress wants us to know. The Empress also would like for us to honor our own ability to create and nurture. The Empress is creative. The Empress represents um, creative flourishing. So, what is there that you want to create in your life? And can you nurture it in that practical Empress way? In the way of like a little bit every day gets it done. I'm not talking about like pushing yourself um, to do all kinds of crazy things. I'm talking about just committing to show up regularly every day, because what we focus on grows. What we show up for regularly grows and flourishes. That is the real wisdom of the Empress, is that if we simply show up in a thoughtful and practical and loving manner, if we simply open our heart to nurturing the things we want to create in our lives, that doesn't actually have to be super hard. Really, it can just look like we show up every day because we care. We make sure to prioritize the things that we care about. Some of those things are our health, our relationships. Um, some of them are things like, what do I want to build in my life in the next 5 years, or in the next 1 year, or in the next 5 hours? What do I want to create and bring into the world and breathe life into? These are the questions. You're here because your Instagram app has been disabled. I'm so sorry. I saw you posting about that. I don't know what is going on, but I feel like I have also been having issues with passwords all morning. Like my Apple ID is, I suspect it's a glitch. Something's just acting really like asking me to sign into every single thing. And that feels weird. But um I managed to get here. I was like, I at like 5 minutes before the broadcast, I was like, frantically like typing in passwords, and it kept telling me an unknown error has occurred, and I'm like, ah! But I'm like, you know what? I can get on to the broadcast. That's what counts. That's what counts, is I can show up for the broadcast. I don't have to deal with this right now. I allowed myself to focus where the priority should be. Anyway, the Empress wants you to take really loving care of yourself, and to take really loving care of everything you want to bring to fruition in your life. Show up in a nurturing way. Show up with kindness in your heart, and show up with a dose of practicality. You know what I mean? Good morning, Judith. Hi, Liz. How are you? Welcome. All right, someone is texting me nonstop, so I am going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I think that might be interfering with the Instagram. Oh gosh. Okay, here we go. Instagram seems to still be going. Sorry if you lost me for a minute. Hello, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining. All right, if you would like a card, if you've tuned in recently, our secret code is that you drop a cat in the chat for a card. That's because when we type in the words, please pull me a card or something like that, we get spammers, and nobody needs that in their life. But please tell me if someone does spam you, I will block them. If someone like leaves a note in the chat that's like, contact me for a reading, like you see that a lot. That's the kind of spam we get sometimes. Um, Usually on Facebook. Anywho, drop a cat emoji in the chat if you'd like a card, or write the word meow. And I'm going to get started. First card I will be pulling today is for Grayson. I don't believe Grayson actually gave me a specific question this time. I think they said they would just like a card. So I always hit my patrons first if they pre-ask me questions, and then I get to everyone I can in the broadcast. But patrons are guaranteed a card. Just because that's like my way of saying thank you. They support the podcast, they support what I'm doing and putting into the world, and I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. So that is my way of saying thank you. So Grayson just said card for me, please. So that is what I am going to do. All right, Grayson, I'm pulling a card for you. Grayson, your card is the Ten of Swords. Okay. I want to ask you two questions. I want to ask you, are you reliving an old heartbreak right now, or are you experiencing things in in the present that trigger feelings of heartbreak, that trigger feelings of like betrayal, agony, pain. I didn't know it would be this way, and yet here it is. Really, that like ultimate letdown feeling, because that is what the Ten of Swords is. And I also want to ask you, if you are experiencing that, I'm going to ask you, as your mom friend, are you taking care of yourself? Are you giving yourself room to grieve? Are you taking some pressure off of yourself? The reason I ask is here in this particular deck in this card, this person is like literally like over a desk trying to study with 10 swords in his back. Do we need that? No. You know, when you've got 10 swords in your back, when you're triggered because something has brought up pain for you, you don't need to stress yourself out. You don't need to like push yourself to be productive at those times. What you really need is to just pay loving attention to yourself and give yourself kindness and give yourself care. That is the thing that you need to do. So I want to ask you to be loving to yourself and to take it easy, not to push yourself super hard. Absolutely do things if they distract you in a healthy way. You know what I mean? But I suspect this might be an old wound, not a brand new wound. In which case, it might be time for some processing, and that means you should give yourself room to process. You should give yourself bandwidth. You should give yourself lots of rest if you need it. You should give yourself downtime. You should give yourself time to goof off without pressure of being responsible. Um, to the extent that you possibly are able to do. Please be loving and kind to yourself, and know that this too shall pass. This is not a forever thing. This is a right now thing. All right, I've got one more question ahead of time from a patron. By the way, if you're a patron, I always post in both the Patreon and the Discord. If you want to get a question in early, you can. I usually post a couple days ahead. This is from Ginger Dawn Studios. How can I figure out how to be of greater spiritual service, ordination in an organized religion, or stay as an interfaith minister? I'm going to pull a card around this for you. What I have is the Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands is a card about being celebrated. The Six of Wands is about having your best parts of yourself visible to others and receiving accolades and attention for them. The Six of Wands is a victory card, showing me that success is very possible for you. And what I want to ask you, what will help you make this decision, is what is going to put you in a position that most resonates with the mark you want to leave on the world. Wands are about our ambition. Wands are about, oh, I see that there's a spammer. Don't worry, I'm blocking them. Wands are about what we want to, like what legacy we want to leave, what we're creating, what we're putting into the world, what our energy is doing to the world around us. So I want to ask you, what is going to put you in a position where you are visibly creating the impact that you want to create on the world every single day? That's what I want you to think about. And you know what? Those two things sound pretty close. So what what I want to ask you is what's in your heart. You know what I mean? Like, what is the legacy you truly wish to leave? Not trying to like get in our head with games about like trying to game the system of like, well, what's gonna work, what's the most strategic thing to do. Instead of being strategic, you're being asked to just let your true light shine at this time and trust. This is a very important element. Trust that if you let your truest light shine, that you will receive the accolades and the appreciation that you deserve. Intermittent audio. I'm so sorry. Oh, you have your airplanes. I'm so sorry about your airplanes. That sucks. Hopefully, at least, I don't know, you'll be able to tune in for a replay if you miss anything too super crucial. Okay, we got a bunch of people. I have taken my pre-asked patron questions, and for everyone who's here and dropped a cat, I'm going to go in order. If you are a patron, I do guarantee you a card pull. Don't worry, even if you like just came in. Okay. That's how I'm going to do it, I think, because I give the patrons that opportunity to ask the question early in advance. I will get to you no matter what if you're a patron, but it's a little easier for my brain to go in the order that people commented this morning. All right, Mary Jane. Mary Jane says, photography is going amazing, work not sure. And your question is, can I get some insight into the work atmosphere? I love this question. I love the spirit of this question. It's like like, give me the insight, give me the perspective that's going to help me move forward. That's really healthy. You know, I love a good question. Also, everyone, please send some healing energy to Ondine. Ondine's been dealing with COVID. It's really, COVID sucks, y'all. COVID has really created a lot of problems for a lot of people. I mean, I don't need to tell you all that, but I also, like, when I say that, I also mean, oh my goodness, I shuffled silly, and now some of my cards are face up and some of them are face down. Well, anyway, um, I know a lot of people, myself included, who are dealing with like long COVID effects, and it's a bummer. And I think over the next 5-10 years, we'll probably figure out how to manage that. You know what I mean? Because it's new and evolving. But I just want to, my heart goes out to everyone who's dealing with that. And please send some love and some good energy, in particular to Ondine, who has been knocked down by the COVID monster, as I shuffle these cards. And I promise I will, I'll pull your card in just a minute, Mary Jane. I shuffled foolishly as I was talking. And I have like some face up, some face down. And that's like, if I shuffle reversals into a deck accidentally, I kind of vibe with it. I'm like, all right, you know? But when it's like half face up, half face down, it's like, no, this is silly. Let's clean this up. I think this is the first time this has ever happened in like a broadcast or like a public reading situation where I've shuffled so poorly that I've had to like stop and reset the deck. And I guess that feels pretty good, actually. Ooh, Brittany's making some peach tea this morning. Just looking at the comments. That's lovely. What you sipping on, everybody? I've got, just got water. Definitely will be taking a hydration checkpoint after this next reading. And, yeah. All right, Mary Jane. Insight into the work atmosphere. We have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is interesting because it's a card that more points back to you rather than pointing to the work atmosphere. And I would say that what you're being told is to make a point of being happy with yourself. Ooh, vanilla seltzer, that sounds delicious. That's a Nine of Pentacles drink right there. That's decadent while still being like, I don't know, like kind of quirky and unique. Okay. Nine of Pentacles says you should be happy with yourself and how you are contributing, kind of regardless of the environment around you. You are being invited at this time to create the stability and the relaxed energy that you need to best function yourself, to show up for that yourself. How does that look in a work environment? It looks like asking yourself if you are working within your own integrity, being sure that you're doing that, and also making a conscious choice to let things go if they're not working out. Not because you don't deserve respect or not because you don't, deserve a better work environment, but because in this particular instance, you're being asked to basically choose how to give yourself a peaceful work environment regardless of those around you. So this is case by case. Sometimes our peace does require us standing up for ourselves and setting up a boundary, right? And sometimes our peace requires us setting a different kind of boundary where we choose to tune out the things that are just not functional, where we choose to allow ourselves to be functional in ourselves and for that to be enough. So you are going to know day by day what that means for you. Your own discernment will teach you. But you are asked to bring the energy you need to work for yourself. You are asked not to rely on other people and not to get super hung up on politics and what will and won't, like what other people will and won't do and how other people are and aren't doing their jobs. You're being asked to act in your own integrity and trust that that is enough. All right. I'm just going to take a quick look in the comments. See a bunch of people tuning in. I saw that one spammer. I deleted. Hello, Nicole. You can request a card. I'll get you on deck for a card. I do have some people ahead of you, but I should be able to get to you. Hello, Amalia. How are you? Hi, Laura Lou. A bunch of people tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I will get to people as I can get them. I have a hard stop at 12, so I can't promise I'll get to everyone. It's still early, though, and I will try to move quickly through the cards. All right, next up on deck, Mary Jane says, so on point and what I've been telling myself. I love it. I love when we have our own inner wisdom, and sometimes the tarot is just like, yes, you're right. And that's nice. Next up, we have Brittany, um, followed followed by Ondine. Ondine, did you want a card? I don't think I saw a cat, but I assume you probably want a card. Oh yeah, you said meowing. Yes, okay. If you're new to the broadcast, our secret code when we want a card is to put a cat in the chat or write the word meow. If you've requested a card another way, it's fine. I got you. We do it mainly because that helps us not get spammers, who come in and like, there's a lot of tarot spammers on both Facebook and Instagram these days who will like copy accounts or show up on other reader streams and be like, DM me, the universe has a message for you, dear. And it's like, let's not do that. Let's not give those spammers any more airtime than we have to. So that's why we do the secret code. All right. Brittany, did you have a particular question? I'm scrolling to see. Nurture time. Now I have the time to show up for myself every day without fighting for it. Wow. What happened? Back with yummy peach tea. Also, Danny says, hello. Hi, Danny. How are you? All right. Brittany, I don't see a question, so I'm pulling a general card for you. Brittany says a little too early for wine. Yes, it is a little too early for wine. Yeah, if you guys tune in for my music broadcast, often I'm sipping wine. Not at 11 a.m. on a Saturday. I'm not quite there. Brittany, your card is the Emperor. This is really interesting because we've received as our kind of general mood card of the day, for everyone for the coming month, the Empress. We all need to take practical care of ourselves. We all need to show up with a loving gentleness to our dreams and ourselves and our inner children. You are being asked to be the Emperor. You are being asked to be the authority, perhaps the authority that you needed as a child and didn't get, meaning you get to step into leadership and authority in a way that is healthy for you rather than a way that is toxic. Many people are turned off by the Emperor, especially people from marginalized communities, because the Emperor can represent the patriarchy. The Emperor can like represent the status quo in not a healthy way, forces that are outside our control, that are on us. You are being asked to be your own authority at this time. You are being asked to be the one who makes decisions, and you are being asked not to ask permission for that, but to be like, hey, here's how it's going to be. I'm in my authority now. You don't need authority from an external source. You are the authority. You were asked to be the authority in this time, and I encourage you to be the authority that you wish you had had in different situations. When you reflect on your childhood and those in leadership and how they served you and how they failed you, because I'm sure there was a mix of both. When you think of different positions you've had, in whether work positions or volunteer positions or relationships, and how people in authority around that served you and how they failed you, and how you can bring the energy that you think is most beneficial to your leadership role. You are being asked to step into a leadership role. You are being asked to step into your authority. Presume that that power is there and act accordingly. Act as though you have the power to make the changes that you want, and you are able to make pronouncements like, hey, this is what we're doing from now on, because this, and here's why. You can give an explanation, but I want you to be careful to give explanations rather than apologies. A good leader does share, here's the reason behind these decisions, but a good leader doesn't say, now talk me out of it, it's okay. A good leader says, this is a decision we're making, here is the reason, so that everyone is on the same page, and a good leader does care about those that they are leading. What they don't do is allow themselves to be walked on. So that's important. This is a time for you to lead rather than ask for everyone else's opinion. Okay, Ondine is next. How do I best move forward through the coming month, particularly post-COVID? Ondine requested a card earlier. And has just clarified, like, that's the question. If you've asked for a card, please feel free to ask a particular question. Hello, Savannah. How are you? So good to see you on this stream. I love seeing your little butterfly pop up. Never heard of the Wizard's Tarot. Sounds magical. It's really a beautiful deck. I've had it for a little while, and I have not given it the proper attention it deserves, and I'm just having a little renaissance reading with this deck because I love it so much. All right. Brittany says I'm laughing very hard right now. Thank you, Rory. Emperor and Empress are all up in my business. Yeah, it's interesting actually because I know you've been pulling cards of the day for yourself. How you do keep getting that like feminine, masculine, yin yang thing in your card draws. I just think that's really interesting. Like for whatever that means to you. All right. How do we move forward through the coming month? For Ondine, particularly post COVID, I'm going to just pause for a quick hydration checkpoint. Everyone, if you're playing the hydration drinking game, take a sip of whatever you're sipping on. And if you came in recently before I asked, how are you doing today? On this stream, we really support each other. We want to be honest and real with each other. So I ask you, give me the real answer, not the polite answer. How are you feeling today? How are things going for you? Ondine, here is your card. Your card is the Hermit. You are asked to be self protective as well as to look within yourself for answers. You already know what has to happen. And I think this is both about how to take good care of yourself as well as how to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? How to take care of your body because you're, like recovering, and how to take care of your dreams, your emotional self, the things you want to accomplish, your goals. You're being asked to turn inwards at this time. You're not being asked to go out and jump back into making action. You're being asked to give yourself that time where you use a little energy outwards so that you can expend some energy inwards to get to where you're going. So this can look like literal recovery, but it also looks like literally giving yourself the gift and the blessing of the time to gain some perspective rather than like, well, I better get back into action. I haven't been working as I've been sick. I better work, work, work. That's the opposite of perspective. That's usually an anxiety response, right? We're like, "Oh God, it's been so long. I just want to get to work." That doesn't come from our highest self. That comes from our stress. Sometimes it's healthy stress too. Sometimes it's like, well, I know what I really want to do. I know what my ambition is and the goal and the mark I want to leave on the world, and I just want to focus on that. And that's a gift when we have that level of focus on something we want to create in the world. Nevertheless, when we're like, oh God, I've lost so much time, I have to work, that is not coming from a place of wise critical thinking. That's coming from a place of stress. Let's not be guided by our stress. Let's be guided by our wisdom. That is what the cards are asking you to do. Turn inward at every opportunity. Spend time communing with yourself. If you're not sure of the answer, calm yourself down, do the practices that you know help you get yourself embodied and help you get yourself feeling centered and help you get yourself connected to your true wisdom rather than your stress energy. You know what those practices are for you. Practice them early and often. Oh my gosh. Savannah's drinking a hot vanilla coffee. I love that we've got like big vanilla energy here, which by the way, I know that like vanilla can be like a derogatory term sometimes, for like kind of only liking boring standard things. I don't feel that way about vanilla as a spice. It comes from an orchid. It's exotic. It's delicious and like a little bit weird. I love vanilla. So I love our big vanilla energy. Feeling super tired today. Everyone, please send Savannah some good lovey energy because we all deserve a little energy when we're down. Ooh, sipping on my roomie's magic iced tea blend. I love it. I love a good blend. All right, who is on deck? We had Brittany, we had Ondine. Let's see who's next. Next we have Judith. Judith has dropped a cat. And then let's see who's on deck. Looks like Chaprelle Campbell is on deck after that. Chaprelle, if you have a particular question, please let me know. Judith, I assume you would have asked me a question if you had one. And then we'll get to everyone else as I get to them. Don't worry, I'm getting to everyone I can right up until 12. Judith, here is your card. We have the Knight of Pentacles. You are being asked to move forward and make the practical moves that you know will help your situation or that you suspect will help your situation, because we're talking about night energy. Knights go on quests. Knights don't know what they're hoping to find. They're just like, well, whatever it is, I'm good for it, which you may relate to as a freelance gigging musician, because that's kind of the attitude that we have to have. I don't want to relegate this just to the realm of work, though. I also want to highlight that Pentacles, yes, are about your money. They're about every type of baseline stability. They're about your home life. They're about your day-to-day stability. I know you have been talking about what it would be like to have a crash pad closer to some of the places you work. I know that there are always health concerns for us, especially these days. I know that there's like, like what is going to make your day to day life feel like it supports you better? That's what Pentacles are about. And so I'm asking you, what actions can you take towards making your day to day life support you better? And as a Knight of Pentacles, you're not asked to have the whole vision and the whole plan right now. You're just asked to see enough and have enough of an idea to be like, okay, I'm going to take these next few steps, and then I'm going to check in, and then I'm going to take another few steps. That is how a quest goes. You kind of like look around, try to figure it out, and go like, okay, that way, onward. Onward is your key. When you're thinking about these basic day-to-day stability things, onward is the word. And it doesn't mean onward, let's ignore this situation. It means onward, let's go ahead, let's dive in and get our hands dirty doing what needs to be done. Brittany says, my own draw for the day was the Hanged Man. I feel like this is a big moment for me right now. Perhaps the universe is literally screaming at me to take care of myself and rest. I am someone who has been screamed at by the universe to take care of myself and rest, so maybe. Like, I've been there. That's really interesting. Onward, Knight Judith! Judith is like, story of my life. Yes. Yes. Okay, next up we have Chaprel. Yes, I'm going to pull a card for you. Please tell me if I'm pronouncing anyone's name wrong at any time. Please tell me, because I want to be corrected. I want to get it right. All right, let me see who I have here. I'm scrolling up just so I can like not lose myself here. We had Ondine. We have Liz Brewer. Liz, I will get to you. And Chaprel Campbell. Okay, so Chaprel, Liz Brewer on deck. I see that we have another spammer in the Facebook chat. I'm blocking them right now. Chaprel, if you're still tuned in, and thank you so much. I think you're a first-time tuner inner, a real word. Here is your card. Chaprel, we have the Devil. I just want to share with you, this is the card I drew for myself today in my phone tarot app, and I looked at it, I'm like, oh, this again, huh? The Devil. The Devil's not the literal devil, but the devil is the thing that triggers us, the thing that pushes our buttons, the thing that puts us back feeling like we are a small child rather than a capable adult, the thing that makes us feel like we don't have power. What makes you feel like you don't have power? It's time to take a step within yourself and ask yourself if these things that make you feel like you don't have power, because maybe they bring up past stories, past times when you truly did not have power, right? Maybe they bring up that energy of feeling powerless and feeling like you were not in control of your decisions, of where your life was moving forward, of what was happening to you. Now you are in a position where you can be more in control and you can make decisions. However, we're at risk when we see the Devil of kind of making a knee-jerk self-protective decision, for good or for ill, right? Whether that means turning to a negative coping method, whether that means keeping ourselves small, playing small because our fear is triggered, or whether it means like lashing out, like stepping into our lower selves rather than our higher selves because our buttons have been pushed. When the Devil comes up, our buttons are being pushed. It's bringing up our inner fear stories. It's bringing up our inner anxiety and stress and anger. And those are all emotions that are important. Those emotions tell us something. They tell us that our boundaries are being pushed or our needs are not getting met. However, I'm asking you to meet this as the capable, wise adult that you are. I'm asking you to meet this situation and remind yourself, I'm not a child anymore. I'm not someone who can be pushed around by fate or pushed around by other people. I have developed myself into someone who can make very good decisions and take good care of myself. And so I want to ask you how you can almost parent yourself through this, how you can take yourself in hand and be like, okay, I know I've got some buttons being pushed, but I am ready to face them as the wise adult that I am, to face them with some equilibrium rather than just immediately jumping into a knee-jerk response. Whatever that may look like for you. Oh my gosh, Judith, I love this flying platypus that you've put in the comments. Thank you. Okay, next up we have Liz Brewer. Z's and V's. Let me just scroll down to see if Liz asked a particular question. I don't think I see a particular question from Liz. Okay, so Liz, I'm going to pull a card for you. And after Liz, let's see who's next on deck. After Liz, I do this regularly so I can make sure to get with people. Then we have Nicole Frasca Rodriguez. Liz, hello from the UK. What time is it there? It must be like about dinner time or coming up on it. Late afternoon. Welcome, welcome. How's the weather? Judith says, I am the devil. That's so funny. Yes. Just to clarify that, I'm not calling Judith the devil. Judith's birth card is the devil. Not the same thing. Okay, Liz, we have the Fool. Liz, what I want to highlight, what's interesting, you came into the chat and said, is it too late? And I know that you meant, is it too late to get a card? But I also want to highlight that the Fool is a card of fresh beginnings and fresh starts. So I want to just say, if you are asking yourself, is it too late in life? No, it's not. Is it too late for my dream? Is it too late for this thing I want to go after? It's not. Trust the journey and go after yourself and allow yourself to have it like as a beginner. Allow yourself to go into this like with fresh energy, with like first day of school energy, with first day on a new job energy, with I'm traveling to a city I've never been to energy. That's the energy to bring right now. Bring that wide-eyed innocence and hope, and know that the universe is looking out for you, and know that there are things you don't know now, and you don't have to. You don't have to have the whole plan. You just have to have the inner energy and excitement to go in with faith as you find a plan. That's what you're being asked to do, to just show up. Okay. Who is next on deck? I just said who is next on deck, and I'm reading through the comments, and I want to make sure I get to everybody. Okay. That was, sorry, was that Liz's card? Yes, that was Liz's card. Nicole is next. And then on deck we have Amy. Any new reading for me? 6 months today. Lost my, what's Hib? Is that something I don't know? Is that husband? Or is it something else? I'm sorry if I don't know what you mean by that, if I'm like out of the loop. Amy says, money sent. Thank you so much. If you threw a virtual tip, I usually don't have that open because I want to focus on the readings for everyone regardless, but I also want to say thank you. That's really, really kind of you. Thank you. Hubby. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss, Amy. That's awful. Amy, you're next on deck. I'm going to read for Nicole, and then I'm going to read for you. Nicole Frasca Rodriguez, your card is the Wheel of Fortune. All right, let's talk about that. Life is bringing you change, whether you like it or not. Usually with the Wheel of Fortune, you will like it. But it's a time to be aware that when our dreams come true, when good things happen to us, it usually doesn't look like the exact way we imagined it, right? When we have our plans of like, here's my 5-year plan, or just here's the goal, or here's what I want, here's what I want to see happen for me, we often have wishes come true, and we have the universe give us great blessings in ways that we don't expect. And so it can fool us, right? We can be like, when is my wish going to come true? And it's like, well, it's coming true, and the path is not going to look like the path you imagined in your head. Because if you could just do it yourself, you would take the path you imagined in your head. But you know what? When the universe helps us out, it looks like whatever energy is available. The universe is like, this guy's walking down the street. I can have him help. You know what I mean? Like, the universe just does what it needs to do to make things happen. It doesn't always look the way we expect it. It can be chaotic. It can feel random. This is positive random energy coming into your life. I would recommend, rather than making gigantic decisions right now, seeing the lay of the land because it may shift over the next few weeks in a positive way. You may have opportunities you didn't know you have, especially if you're making decisions out of like lack and scarcity and feeling like, like maybe I need to give up on this, or maybe I'm not going to have enough to do the things I wanted to do, enough time, enough money, enough energy. Give yourself a little bit of time because the lay of the land may change over the next week or two, and allow yourself to see what comes into your life. Allow the universe to surprise you. Okay, Amy, I am going to. It is a really neat Wheel of Fortune card. Amy, first of all, everybody, please send Amy some love. Um, Amy, in your time of grief and loss, I'm just here to say, like, I'm sending you so much good energy. I'm sending you um, a lot of love and a lot of kindness. Okay, I'm going to pull a card for you as requested. I've once again shuffled my cards weirdly. Let me fix them. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. And let me scroll up to see exactly what you said so I can make sure that that energy gets into your card pull. Pardon me as I just like have a blank scrolling face. Amy, any reading for me, please? 6 months today, I lost my husband. I just want to honor that anniversary for you, and let you know that grieving takes its own time, and whatever that grief process looks for you is valid, and I hope that you're giving yourself kindness as you move through this time. And I know you asked a question a little later down, so I'm going to scroll down to see that. My future love life and family and job, please. Thank you. Okay, let's see what the future is bringing to you. Amy, we have the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a very positive card. You do have positive stuff coming your way. The Six of Wands is about receiving accolades, receiving positive attentions for yourself and for what you have created in your life. And not just what you've created, but like the mark you're leaving in the world, the impact you have on other people is being recognized. If you're someone who kind of like tends to give your energy to other people rather than to yourself, you're having an opportunity to finally get some of that energy back in the form of praise, in the form of people recommending you for things, in the form of people like literally talking about how good you are. You may find yourself the recipient of compliments so much so that it becomes uncomfortable. And I advise you to sit with that discomfort and allow yourself to hear that people really value you. Like allow that to be a real thing for you. Just soak it up and enjoy it. You do have positive energy coming your way, and it's very specific. Like you asked about career a little bit, so I suspect this might be a piece of it. It might also look like those around you, friends and family rallying around you. So I want you to know that you have good energy for you around the corner. I'm gonna just also, because I know what it is like to have a loss and to be grieving, I'm gonna pull a card about how you can best take care of yourself in this time. This is your future energy card, Six of Wands. Good things are coming to you. How can you have good self-care during this time? It's the Empress. You are being asked to take things one day at a time. The Empress is our card, everybody, for the whole month, so do listen to this. You're being asked to take things one day at a time. You're being asked to give yourself love, especially practical love. Sometimes when we're grieving, it feels like we're broken and we don't know what we need, right? So the Empress says, well, you need the things you always do need, right? Like you need to be getting enough sleep. You need to make sure you're drinking enough water. You need to make sure you're, fueling your body in a way that nourishes you. You need to be sure that you're, like doing little things like getting yourself moving a little bit every day and getting out of the house, like doing the basic self-care that keeps us buoyant when times are hard. The Empress says we don't have to solve everything right now, but we can take good care of ourselves for today. That is the energy that you need. And I just want to remind you, like, you got good vibes coming to you. The Six of Wands really means being seen for what you're good at, being seen for what is special in you. So you do have positive things coming to you, Amy. Oh, I love this. The platypus of blessings gift you with abundance and support. Thank you. The platypus of blessings. That makes me so happy. Okay, Brittany says, Rory said, the universe is giving us a great blessing in a way we didn't expect. Just as I was talking about wanting to change my career path within the next 5 years, Daniel and I made the decision that I'm retiring from day-to-day business operations. Thanks, Wheel of Fortune. Brittany, I'm so happy for you. I know this has been like a long time coming, and I know that it's been on your mind, and I'm so happy to see you get this like almost like a full moment in your life. You know what I mean? Like a new fresh start, a beginning, where you are able to focus on the things that make you feel good and that you think are right to give your energy to. I'm so happy for you. All right, let's see if we have anyone else on deck. Yes, we do. Let me make sure I'm getting to the right person. Okay, got to Amy. We have Laura Lou next. Laura Lou, I will pull a card for you. And is there anyone else? I'm just scrolling to see if there's anyone else I missed. I see my regulars chatting. I see a couple of spammers. I did delete the spammers. Amy, you're so welcome. Okay. Yes, we have time for Laura Lou. I'm gonna pull a card for you, and it seems like if I didn't get to anyone, please tell me. Seems like it's a quieter day today, and I think that's everyone, and we're at 45 minutes. So I'll give anyone, I'll hang out, and give anyone a chance to ask a question or even a second question if we don't get anyone else. That's fine with me. Because that boundary goes both ways. I have a hard stop at 12, but I will show here for until 12. Why not give you a little more? Maybe I'll pull a card for myself too. Laura Lou, here is your card. Hi from New York. I'm also broadcasting from New York. Welcome. I'm here on Long Island. Question is, what will happen with my job? Okay. Let me do one more shuffle to kind of like get that question vibe into the cards. Okay, Laura, I see the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is generally a positive card. I don't know what's happening at work for you right now. Generally, when we say what will happen with my job, there's some stress there. Three of Cups indicates that you and other people that you have relied on. This is the Three of Cups in the context of a work reading, right? And if anyone else studies the tarot here, teaching moment, the Three of Cups is a card about reuniting with friends, especially with people who see you in a way that helps you rise and be your best self, the people who see the best of you, the people who know you, the people who can make you laugh. Reuniting with those people and celebrating and just enjoying the togetherness. Now, in the context of a work reading, what that means is those people with whom you work who are like that for you, the people who are not the people who don't understand you, the people who know and see the value that you bring to your job, the people who understand like the attitude as well that you bring to your work, you know what I mean? The people who are there to support you and have your back rather than being frivolous and fighty with you, you and those people almost are having a little bit of a renaissance. You have the ability to create positive things at this time. So if you're looking for advice, again, I don't know what's happening with your job. If you're looking for advice, I would say seek out those people that you work with whom who you know you can trust, who you know have your back, who you know that you can work with well and feel good. Because the more you engage together, the more you can change the atmosphere in a positive way. This can also look like getting job opportunities that put you back in touch with old friends, like those kind of things. All right, loves, we got 10 minutes left. I seem to be out of card requests. I'm going to take a hydration checkpoint, take a nice sip of water. I'm going to pull a card for myself. And if anyone has a request for a second card, or if you've been tuned in and hanging and haven't asked for a card, now's the time. And of course, if I haven't gotten to you, please tell me, but I think I got to everyone. Laura, you're very welcome. Cheers, y'all. If you're playing the hydration drinking game, bonk, take a drink. I'll tell you what, I'm going to pull my own card. I'm going to ask a standard question for me, which is, what is the best energy I can bring to my day today? I'm time boxing it just to my day. I'm in a period of real transition in my own life. Things are changing around me that affect me positively, mostly. And I am working harder than ever on some goals that I've been nurturing since, gosh, 2020. Um, so I'm in this transition period, and I know the long-term things I want to do. But what I'm going to ask the cards today is what energy can I bring to today for my highest good? Here's my answer. My answer is the Four of Cups. You know what's wild? The guy on the Four of Cups in this deck looks a little bit like one of my ex-boyfriends. Is that weird? I'm like looking at him and I'm like, it brings up feelings. And um I'm not going to ignore that energy because, like there's a reason I pulled this card in this deck, you know what I mean? The Four of Cups is a card. I worked with this card for the better part of a year. It was my guide card for, I think, 2020. Um, the Four of Cups, when it comes up, advises you not to settle. Because the Four of Cups is that energy, that settling energy. If anyone else is the right age of millennial to remember that Death Cab for Cutie song, ba this is the sound of settling. The Four of Cups is that energy. This is the sound of settling. And it reminds you not to settle. It advises you to look deeper rather than just accept apathy, rather than just accept things being just a little bit crappy. Like, to go ahead and fuss yourself over it so that, because you deserve better than settling, basically. That's the energy of the Four of Cups. So I'm going to tune in. My practice with the Four of Cups is to look at things that make me feel a little bit blah and ask myself if I can do better. That is the practice I learned when I was working with this card for a whole year in 2020. And you know what? It was transformative. Okay, Liz Brewer, will things turn out okay for me, please? Everyone, if you're asking that question, let's all send Liz some good energy, because if you're asking that question, it's because you're worrying that they won't. So, Liz, I'm sending you good vibes. Everyone, please send Liz some good vibes. I want to see things turn out okay for you. I'm going to hit you with two cards. I'm going to hit you with an answer to your question and also a what can you do? What can you do to, take care of yourself during this time? Card number 1, Five of Pentacles. Yeah, but it's going to take some help. Things are going to turn out okay for you, but you're going to need to accept that you need help. Help is available to you, and sometimes that feels humbling to have to ask for help. Five of Pentacles is, the best thing I could say is shelter from the storm. This is a phrase that has come in my head as I look at this, especially here because we have it's snowing out. We see this one person hurrying, and there's this big building, and she can have the shelter and get her needs met. Maybe it's not in the exact way she was visualizing her night going, you know what I mean? But shelter is available to you. Help is available to you. So this is definitely the kind of card of take care of yourself now, accept the help you may need, rise again another day. It's okay. It's really, really okay to get the help that you need, and it is available to you. I'm gonna pull that second card for you, which I promised, which was what can you do to take care of yourself now? You have the Two of Swords, indicating that there's a decision. Maybe you even already know about help that's available to you, and you're not sure, how you want to move forward. What you can do is turn inward, look within yourself, and follow your heart. When we make a decision, this carries through, you know what I mean? And not always, our decision may or may not work out, right? The universe may or may not have other plans in store for us, but when we make a decision, it shows ourselves that we have our own back. When we make a decision to show up for ourselves the best that we can, we're making the decision of self-friendship rather than self-betrayal. So I want to ask you what that decision looks like, and I want to ask you if you can own that energy of showing up for yourself regardless of what happens externally. Do your best for you. Brittany says, what can I do? Is such a great question, and honestly one I want to start asking. Yeah, it's been meaningful to me. Aisha, can I have a reading, please? Yes, you can. You got here just in time. I think you're going to be our last reading for the day. Aisha, I'm going to pull a card. Do you have a particular question? I'm going to take a sip of water while I wait to see. By the way, since we're coming up on a close of today's broadcast, I want to let you know two things. First of all, last week I just released a podcast. My podcast is called Sassafras Cast. You can find it everywhere that podcasts are. If you're watching on YouTube, you can literally see the episode right on YouTube, or just search Sassafras Tarot on YouTube. But if you search the word Sassafras Cast, all one word, or click the link on my bio if you're on Instagram, you'll see links of where you can listen. And the podcast I just released was magical and mundane ways to deal with overwhelm. I have noticed everyone in my life, including me, is dealing with a lot of stress and overwhelm right now, and I wanted to just give a real, like, back to basics episode of, like, here's how we can take care of ourselves when we're feeling overwhelmed, both in, like, mundane ways, just like the things that we know work, as well as making them a little bit witchy and magical. Giving ourselves a way to also have it fill our spiritual cup a little bit and be a little fun along the way. So I hope you will go check out my podcast. If you would ever like a full reading from me, you can get one. You could see the link scrolling across the bottom. It'll also go ahead and put those links into the chat for you all. If you are, if you're watching on Instagram, those links are in my bio as well. That link in my bio leads to a tree of links, that kind of show you all of that stuff. So if you ever do want to order a full reading from me, you can do so at my Etsy shop. That's the only place I do full readings. If there's ever someone on Instagram saying, like, DM me and give me money for a reading, that's not me. That's a thing that has been going on Instagram lately. We have these, like, mysterious accounts that are, like, impersonating real readers. If you want to order a reading from me, Etsy is the place to do it. I just popped a link into the comments wherever you're watching. All right, Aisha says, will someone from my past be coming back into my life? What an interesting question. This makes me think maybe there is someone particular in your past that you're thinking of. And I want to remind you, too, you can come back in their life if you want to. If you're like, I would like to reconnect with this person, like, you're allowed to be the one who makes the first move. Let me pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. Queen of Wands. Aisha, what this tells me, Queen of Wands is someone who's very magnetic, very charismatic, and also a little bit gets what she wants, names what she wants, and gets what she wants. The Queen of Wands is the queen. She inspires big feelings in other people. She inspires loyalty. She inspires devotion. And a lot of it is about her vision and also how she presents herself. She has a certain charisma. This is you. This is the energy you're embodying right now. So I want to let you know that you are magnetic to people. And if you want to be magnetic to someone, if you're hoping someone, comes back into your life, you do have that magnetism, that personal charisma right now, to influence them. And of course, as with anything, like the Queen of Wands should be mindful about how she uses her influence, right? We should use our influence, for good, but if there's somebody in your life or who was in your life that you'd like to come back, I want to tell you not to hesitate, because the Queen of Wands doesn't hesitate. The Queen of Wands names what she wants and goes after it. She doesn't wait for what she wants to be handed to her. The Queen of Wands is like, okay, here's what I want. I'm setting my sights, and that's the goal. That's what's going to happen. And often she does receive help because she's so charismatic and magnetic, and she does inspire, loyalty and interest as a person. So often she does receive help. When she says, I want this, other people are like, well, let's do this for you. You know what I mean? So I want you to go ahead and name what it is that you want. If you want this reconnection from your past, do it. If you want something in your future that's different, do it. Name it, state it. Earnestly say it in conversations. Be wise. Don't say it to people who are going to shoot you down and make you feel worse. But, go ahead and let people know, hey, this is a goal I've been working towards, or this is something I really want to see happen for me. Go ahead and let people know, because you might be surprised that energy might come back around, that they might be like, in a week from now, hey, remember how you said that thing? Here's a number you should call, or here's something that I found out about that I think might be perfect for you, or I'm going to introduce you to someone. You know what I mean? So I'm going to encourage you right now to name what you want and go after it with clarity of vision and purpose, and with faith that the universe will help you and those around you will help you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for spending time with me on the Witchy Weather Report. If you would like to check out my podcast, I hope you will. I just released a whole new episode to help us deal with stress and overwhelm. It's called Sassafras Cast. Please search for that wherever you listen to podcasts. If you enjoy these readings and you want to throw some love in the virtual tip jar, that's always appreciated but never expected. Those of you who have been generous, thank you. And those of you who've been generous just by showing up and sharing this broadcast, thank you too. It all means a lot to me. The virtual tip jar link is in there in the comments, or it's in my link in my bio if you are watching on Instagram. If you would like to become a patron and get access to more stuff like this more often, and a personal Discord server where we all hang out and chat, a couple other benefits, patreon.com/sassafrastarot is where to do that. And again, if you want a full reading from me at any time, it's my Etsy shop is the place to do that. You're welcome to message me if you want to figure out like about what kind of reading you want, or talk to me about it. But the Etsy is the place to get the reading, and I do that for security now, so that people know that they're not just like kind of Venmoing money off into the ether. You know what I mean? So the Etsy is the place to order a full reading. Thank you so much, everybody. I love getting to do this with you. I'll be back again next month. Same bat time, same bat channel, 11 a.m. on the last Saturday of the month. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful month. Remember, our card of the month is the Empress. So take care of yourself. Be your own mom friend. Be the mom energy you wish to see in the world. Remember to wear a sweater. It's cold outside. Wear a sweater. Remember to eat a little something. You're too thin. Put some meat on your bones. Remember to just take basic good care of yourself, because it's worth doing. You deserve basic good care. Thank you so